Now, big news on the international stage. Rishi Sunak jets off to America this week to meet with Joe Biden to talk trade, energy, international finance and Ukraine. Will the trip reaffirm the special relationship or demonstrate it has come to an end, particularly given tensions between Joe Biden's White House and the British government's approach to Brexit? Let's head straight to Washington now and speak to political commentator, foreign policy analyst and former aide to Margaret Thatcher, Nile Gardiner. Nile, is Joe Biden a friend of Britain?
Well, Mark, thanks very much for having me on the show today. And I have to say, I think that Joe Biden is the most anti-British president of the modern era. He's no friend of the United Kingdom, the British people. He, in fact, started off his presidency by removing a bust of Winston Churchill from the Oval Office, just as Barack Obama did before him. Donald Trump brought the bust of Churchill back, but Biden wasted no time in getting rid of the Churchill bust. And that really set the tone for his presidency. Biden really is an incredibly left-wing president. He's a very woke president. He has no real affinity, I think, for the US-UK special relationship. He has lectured Britain on multiple occasions. He's threatened Britain over a US-UK free trade deal. He declined to attend the King's coronation. This is a president who I think has diminished, actually, the partnership between the US and the UK, has insulted Britain on many occasions. And I think overall the Biden presidency is a complete disaster, not only for the United States, but also for the special relationship and for the free world as well.
I'm sure that Rishi Sunak would like to restart talks over a trade deal with the US. Will that ever happen under a Democratic president?
Well, that's a very good question. It's not certain whether or not Sunak is going to press the issue of a trade deal with the United States. After all, Biden has been very, very hesitant to move forward with regard to a trade deal. And in fact, Biden threatened the United Kingdom over the trade deal issue in relation to the Northern Ireland Protocol. So the Biden administration hasn't necessarily sent any warm signals with regard to a US-UK trade deal. Sunak, of course, should be pushing the issue strongly in Washington. Let's see if the Prime Minister actually does that. But I think the prospects of a trade deal being in place under a Biden administration are very, very limited. And it would take a Republican president, I think, in order to get a US-UK trade deal done and dusted.
Well, on that subject, Donald Trump looks a shoo-in to win the Republican nomination to run for president. Could he win the next election? And would Donald Trump in the White House be good news for Britain?
Well, I think the Republican race for the presidency is actually going to be very tight, I think, Mark. So it's early days. And we'll have to see what the outcome is. Certainly, Donald Trump was a very strong supporter of a US-UK trade deal when he was president. He was a strong backer of Brexit. But at the same time, his main opponent, Ron DeSantis, governor of Florida, is also a big supporter of Brexit. I think the special relationship would be very strong in the hands of any Republican president. If you look at other contenders as well, Nikki Haley, for example, a big backer of Brexit, a strong supporter of a US-UK trade deal. So the Republicans as a whole, I think, are very supportive of a stronger, more powerful relationship with Great Britain. They back a trade deal. And so I think that the future of the special relationship would be very safe in the hands of a conservative US president. But if it's Joe Biden in office for a second term, then I think the outlook for the special relationship would be very grim.
Well, Niall, our relationship has always been very special. Thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure. Many thanks.
My thanks there too. Political commentator, foreign policy analyst, and yes, former aide to Margaret Thatcher, Nile Gardiner.